This is the Joy at Work podcast, and I'm Lucia Knight. Here's this week's question from a listener.
Hey, Lucia. I've hit the top of a career that doesn't actually fit me anymore. I'm Chief People Officer at a big energy company, and I'm good at it, but I don't want to do it anymore. Technically, I could retire. Money's not the issue. But the thought of that, honestly, it fills me with dread. We've got a new CEO now, and let's just say I don't agree with how he leads people, or how he's trying to lead me. What I really want is to do work that's interesting, where I've got the freedom to use my experience, and where that experience is actually valued. So, what do you do when you're done with the job, but not done with working?
I love this question because you've reached the top of a career mountain, but you've discovered it's not the view you signed up for. And you are not alone. We've had so many questions on this topic in the inbox. A crossroads like this happens to a lot of us. Here's what's great about your situation. You've built your financial freedom fund. And that means you don't have to stay doing work that no longer feels good. That's powerful. Now, you might not expect me to say this, but based on what you've shared, I actually would encourage you to stay a little longer. Not forever, but just until you're clearer on what you truly want next. Retirement isn't right for many of us. And from what I've seen, when you don't have something compelling to run towards, the risk is you flounder. I've seen the lack of structure, the lack of purpose, and the potential for extreme loneliness increase in early retirement. I've seen it send smart, high energy people into a tailspin, and I don't want that for you. This stage of your journey, it's not about climbing higher. It's about going somewhere where all that insight and experience and hard-earned wisdom finally gets to breathe. You're not done. You're just done playing a part that no longer fits. So let's take stock. You've built a career, not just any career, but one where you've guided people, culture, and strategy. You've probably carried a lot of others across the finishing line, and now it's time to carry yourself somewhere new. And retirement, that's clearly not the answer. How do I know? Because you've posted a question to me in a podcast called Joy at Work. That tells me you're not ready to settle down or slow down. You're ready to set your gaze on a new mountain, and this time it doesn't need to be as tall. And the climb doesn't need to be as arduous because your backpack is stuffed to the brim with experience. Your boots are broken in, and you know how to climb very well. All you need now is a destination and a path. So here's what I recommend. Figure out where you are right now at exactly this moment, at exactly this age. Decide what you've got to offer the world that's unique and what you want to offer the world that's unique. In my method, your superpowers are your uniqueness. And when I say superpowers, I mean the 4 things you do better, faster, easier, and more lightly than almost everyone you know. And when you get to do these things, you feel deep satisfaction in your belly and more energy than is normal for people of your or our age. And when you get to use them, people get to see you at your best, doing your most brilliant, energizing work lightly. It just feels good. Then decide which problems in the world that will get you jumping out of bed to solve, or to be part of a team that contributes to solving it. This is where we align the things that are important to you, and you get to decide where to invest your precious moments. This is a choice, a deliberate choice, a narrowing of all the options on how to invest your experience and wisdom into something that you give a monkey's about. Because even when you don't need to work for money, you do need to work for something. It's the purpose in your work life. Now, what I'm about to say may ruffle your feathers, but I'm going to say it anyway. I've seen so many midlife professionals who retired early try frustratingly hard to keep themselves busy, socially engaged, and frankly happy. But the truth as I see it, it doesn't often work. Not for our generation, where work has become such a central part of our lives and our identities. But I do see early retirement working. If you've got a very particular set of circumstances, you need to be strongly introverted or very flexible on who you spend your time with. You need to be deeply intrinsically motivated. You need to have a solo hobby you can do for hours alone and a wide network of humans you actually like who can regularly take time off to do this hobby with you on weekdays. That, in my experience, is a rare combo. So I get it when you say retirement fills you with dread. Honestly, me too. I'll pop a link in the show notes to a case study on Dana, a client who tried early retirement, hit a wall after one long, dark winter, and came to me to deliberately design her new work life on her terms. And that made all the difference. I'll also include a link to a free resource from the Never Too Old, Never Too Late community to help you begin to discover your uniqueness. It's called your Superpower Starter. You've done the big job. Now maybe it's time for the true work, the interesting work, the you work. I call this fierce work, the kind that's designed around who you really are and what you really want to offer the world and to whom. And then it's just a question of packaging. Thank you for your question and for reminding us all that the first mountain we climb isn't always our last.